G'day viewers, Louis here once again. Right now I'm in a workshop here at, I'll look at the name in a minute, I can't remember it. And I've got the ute up, getting some work done to it. CV joint, I'm getting my buddy, which I busted up at, when I was up near Darwin in Litchfield National Park. And I'm also dropping my transmission and my transfer case oil, making sure that all that's clean as well, because I got a horrible feeling I may have got a little bit of water in there, but we're getting that looked at as well. And now here's a progress of it at the moment. Right, now what I'll do, I'll just flick around for a little bit. Now this is the rag with the oil coming out of the gearbox. Now if you look carefully, you see some horrible gungy stuff on there. He says, considering the life of this gearbox and what came out there, if that was an automatic gearbox, I'll just go back to there. If that was an automatic gearbox, he would say you would be halfway through your service life of the vehicle, or of the gearbox, enough for a new gearbox. Yeah, because you're only halfway through the life of it. He says, but me, a manual gearbox, he says there's nothing too much to worry about. We'll change the oil, we'll put a second lot of, we'll give it a drive, flush it around everywhere, drop the oil again, put another lot of oil in to make sure she's all clean and everything else. Now on the on the CV joint, now this is the case of the CV joint. For those who don't know, that's your front tyre. You have a CV joint. Now this is a live axle at the front there. As you see, the diff goes all the way across. Now that stops a lot of weird angles happening on the CV joints that you get on your front end. But if you have a look in there, you're seeing oil and grease mixed together. And that there is a problem. What's happened is the seal inside here, separating the oil from the grease, that has failed when I broke the CV. And so the oil out of the transmission, the diff itself has come through into the bearing area, which is the greased area. So we're getting a new seal, we're getting that organised now. And here's some of the internal components of it. Just sitting there, that's obviously, this is where you lock your hub, and that's the internal mechanism. There's some in there still. This is part of what goes in the bit with your wheel bearings and everything else. Now, if I go over to my axle, I'll find the CV. I'll go over to my axle. Now, it's not actually your CV that breaks. Now, as you can see there, that's the axle there. Now, the bottom end down there goes into the diff. This up here is the part that broke. It was actually the axle breaks inside the CV. You can see where that is there. And I'll just have to find it. The mechanic's gone out for a little bit, so I may have to join a video onto this. And oh, there it is. This is my old CV joint. What's actually happened, if you have a look inside there, I'll see if I can get it to slide down. Anyway, that part there, that's the spline and so forth. That's where the rest of the axle is, and that would sit in there. This is actually the CV joint, the axle on there, and that's the CV joint there. And for that to break here on one of these is almost impossible. It requires serious effort. You will usually break the axle and leave the spline section in there, as you can see, and that there, because this is actually designed as a weak point for this very purpose, because your seal go on here, there's your diff seal there, and on this side here is all greased, and this here, you can see a little lip, it's actually recessed, so this is designed to break here. This is the weak point. And what you do, you buy an entire, if I get my hand out, CV joint and axle in one piece. So it's just a slide out and, sorry, I'm getting grease everywhere too now. So it's actually a slide out and slide in component. Component there for winging in the bush. Now what I'm going to do now, I've asked the mechanic, he said yeah, as long as we get rid of the Japanese safety sandals, that was my thongs, I've got my work boots on now. I can stand here quietly and just observe what he does, so I know what's involved in doing it if it happens to me in a remote location.
Axle seal. Done.
Aha, one new axle seal. If I stand back a little bit, as you see there, the mechanic's just pre-greasing it. Hey, smile, yeah, there he is. Alright, what's happening here is the axle shaft goes in, the CV goes in there, and that's the whole thing in one piece. And I'll just stand back a little bit. There we go. Right, viewers, what's actually happened is we struggled for a little while getting this whole shaft in. It wouldn't go into the diff. And what we found is this top section there that he's just undoing there, there's a bearing underneath there and so forth. By him taking that out there, just to allow that little bit more body travel, flex those to be able to move the shaft, and he got that in there in about half a second.